When I was a kid, our whole house flooded probably 20 years ago. And back then there wasn't anything like this, or the solar and the power stations or any battery backup or anything. My parents, they lost all the food in the freezer and didn't have any power for the sub pump, so they had to rip up all their basement and everything and replace all the carpeting. So I'm hoping that having this stuff can avoid that for myself. My name is Bobby Rogers. I live near the Youngstown, Ohio area. As a structural inspector, I'm responsible for inspecting overhead cranes, crane runways, what they travel on. I had a Jeep that I needed to make a living space out of. Did a lot of research and came across Bluetti for my lights and my refrigerator and everything that I had bought, and for my Jeep, my air conditioner and everything. It was about a year and a half, 2 years ago when I first bought. It was an EB240, and my thought was if I had an air conditioner running in my Jeep, I would need more capacity, which that one had the most capacity at the time. And I could have air conditioning all throughout the night and not have to worry about waking up being too hot or too cold and not wasting money and gas in the Jeep. At nighttime, the EB240 would power the air conditioner, and then during the day, the solar power would recharge it while the air conditioner was still running, or if I was outside, I wouldn't have to worry about it, so I could turn the EB240 off and it wouldn't waste the power with the air conditioner is charged even more with the solar. During the day, I'd have a fixed big glass 300-watt panel. My Wi-Fi box, when I worked remotely in my vehicle, I'd plug it right in and it would run that all day perfectly fine. It was like it was never gone because it was just replenished with the solar panel. I might be doing a job here and then 10, 15 miles away, so my office was essentially my vehicle. The EB240 would keep my laptop charged and my Wi-Fi box, and then also the air conditioning at nighttime. And then my plan is to get a transfer switch in my house to wire some circuits to it, so that way if the power goes out in my house, I can power certain rooms or lights in certain rooms, stuff like that. We have 2 kids, my wife, and my wife's pregnant now. I got rid of the Jeep, needed something a little more reliable and safety, so we kind of got rid of got out of the mobile living unit for myself and focused more on getting my house backed up and prepared for any power outages or anything like that. So with the gas prices going up currently, and prior to when I sold the Jeep, I sold it for a hybrid vehicle. So the amount of savings that we have in fuel prices and gas prices, we can now focus more on family activities and doing things with the family versus dumping all the money into a Jeep or a vehicle that didn't necessarily need anymore. Knowing that the car's a hybrid and there's not as much emissions and saving the environment with the atmosphere and everything, I know that that's better in the long run, along with a lot of the solar power stations as well. That way it takes energy from having to be used off the grid. One of the most important things to me is for my family to be safe. So like if we lose power, I know that our food will be safe with the freezers and the refrigerators. With the newborn coming, we have what's called a baby Brisa, and it's like a Keurig for babies. Like you put the powder in the top and it mixes the water in the right temperature and the right ounces, and it's so cool. So I know like when that happens, if that happens, that there's no power in the house, we don't have to worry about making the formula or how to make the formula. It'll all be secure and good to go. I always like to relax at home. And don't get me wrong, but being outside, especially when it's really nice like this, as a family go out and camp and go out and do things. I have a Traeger pellet grill. It is nice to just set it down real quick, plug it in, make good meals with it for my wife and my kids. Now I can set my grill down, plug it in, press a button, set whatever temperature I want it to run at, and it'll run at that temperature as long as I need it to. When I first chose Bluetti, all different brands across the board used lithium-ion batteries. What made Bluetti stand out about me is the grade of batteries they used. They were higher grade, which allowed for more life cycles. Now all the new ones are lithium iron phosphate, which gives, they're more stable, safer, which is important at home, especially if you have bigger ones or with fires and stuff like that. And the higher life cycles, they're rated a lot higher than a lot of competitors are. The biggest change that Bluetti's given me is the peace of mind and the security and safety of my house, and if an emergency were to happen, that we would be okay as far as needing to power devices, machines, comfort appliances, just whatever I need. As long as my wife and kids are happy and safe, Bluetti's help with that, as far as just having the necessities, not even necessarily like the internet, the TV like I mentioned, but just having the stuff that we actually need, food and water and stuff like that. It's able to provide that in case of an emergency. Bluetti has made a big change in our everyday life with the safety and security, and I'm really excited to see what they have to offer in the future for us to grow and grow with them.
My family.